Hello. Today I will show you the things to be a better learner. But first, have you thought about thinking? Thinking about thinking sounds confusing, but this is actually one's cognitive processes, or what we call metacognition. We humans are known as Homo sapiens, or wise man. We think in a more complex level than our ancestors and other beings. We are capable of thinking about our thinking. When you are able to think about how you think, how you process information, and how you utilize techniques while studying, then you have a higher chance of improving your learning process. Metacognition is commonly defined as the awareness of the scope and limitations of your current knowledge and as well, your skills. This awareness enables a person to adapt their existing knowledge in order to approach a task for an optimum result. It is not limited to the thinking process. It includes keeping one's emotions and motivation in check. Metacognition has two aspects. First, we have self-appraisal, which the personal reflection on your capabilities. Second is self-management. This is the mental processes that one employ in accomplishing a certain task. There are three variables under metacognitive knowledge. The first one is the personal variable, which evaluates one's strengths and weaknesses in terms of learning. Second is the task variable. This is what one thinks and know about the nature of the task, as well as the strategies it requires. Lastly, strategy variable that refers to the strategies or skills one's already have in dealing with certain tasks. To effectively make use of one's metacognitive knowledge, here are some skills that one can do to exercise their metacognition. Knowing your limits. One cannot make any advancement without an honest and accurate evaluation that can be done through MIA. For example, you are not aware of your own limitations but you have high expectations on yourself. This can lead to dissatisfaction and frustration that affects your ability to accomplish any task. Instead, you should know and accept that you don't know everything yet, and there is still a room for learning. Modifying your approach. If your strategy is not appropriate or fitting with the task, it is the time to do a different approach. When you know that your current strategy does not work, then it is the time when you will think of another way to get through it. Like playing chess. Once cornered, it is time to move a different piece in order to win. For example, you are not comprehending the piece you ate reading. You might want to reread it again to have a better understanding of the context. Skimming. This is a process of browsing over a material and keeping an eye on keywords. This technique works best when you want to get an idea, could be in the form of reading materials. Rehearsing. It is not just talking or writing repeatedly. This is where you put what you know in action. Self-testing. This is the part where you challenge yourself, testing your comprehension of what you have learned. The errors you made is a sign that you are trying, so welcome it, and when you accept your errors, you process them into lessons. If there are different strategies, then there are also different metacognitive learners. First is the tacit learners. Basically, they are unaware of their metacognitive processes, but they know the extent of their knowledge. Second is the aware learners. They are aware of their metacognitive strategies but uses techniques that are not planned. Third, they are called as strategic learners. They usually strategize their course of action toward a learning experience. Lastly, the reflective learners. They adapt their metacognitive skills depending on the situation and reflect on their strategies. The goal of metacognition is to make the learners a self-regulated kind. The knowledge and skills of a student should not be limited on what was taught to them inside the school. In studying, here are some tips for learners like you. Make an outline for the things that you want to remember. Break down the task. One cannot finish everything in one go. Breaking the tasks into smaller parts will help you to not get overwhelmed and finish the tasks. Integrate variation to your schedule. Doing different activities a day can exercise your brain and helps it to function more Plus, it makes you more familiar with whatever activity you are doing. Incubate ideas. A technique where once done with your work, leave it for a certain period of time, and then check it again. In this way, you can get a fresh perspective on it. Take down notes. Taking notes of the things you do or study can be useful when you need to do a final quick review on your work or task. Engage with what you have learned. Of course, you're not just gonna memorize things for a day and not make use of it for the next following days. When learn something, make sure to put it in use. Hope you learned something.